start recording. And we should be live.
I like it. It's like, we should be live. I think we're live.
Here we are! Oh, it's amazing. Technology. I love it.
Ah, yay. We're here.
Just seems to be working. That's great. Welcome to PixFix. It's back. After, how long has it been? 1.5 years? 2 years?
Yeah, a little while.
A little while.
Probably.
Well, it's also changed a little bit, I guess. Well, changing still.
Yes, we're going to have a totally different format this time around. We're going to be giving out unsolicited critique for pixelart on
the
our
Reddit subreddit.
Yes.
PixFix subreddit, yeah.
On the pixelart subreddit.
Because everybody's asking for it.
Yes, that's correct. Everyone has asked for this, and we're going to give it to them.
Right.
Yes.
Just to give a bit of background, we're from the former pixelation forum. Well, not former. The forum still exists, but we've been there. Gave a lot of critiques over there. Then we went on the Pixelnomicon Discord, and we're doing the same still there. And now we thought, like, well, let's look at pixel art and see what we can do about it.
Yeah, so we've obviously on Pixelation just mostly been doing critique edits, helping people out with what they do.
Oh yeah, maybe we should actually mention who we are. Okay,
yes.
This guy is just that's just talking to Zambi, Ambiverous, and I'm Weasel.
Yes, thank you. I'm Ambiverous. And yeah, I've been doing pixel art for. I looked it up. My first piece I posted 9 years ago, but then I went dead for like 2 years. So I'm gonna say 7 years of pixel arting, and most of those have been edits and just focusing on critique. Yeah, and I get really involved in pixel art sometimes.
Sometimes. Let's see how involved this is gonna be.
Yeah, well, I'll hold it in.
All right.
And
yeah, continue if you want.
No, yeah, I was going to say, and this is Weasel. He has been. Go.
All right. I've been on. Well, I started on Pixelation. What's it now? Maybe 5 years ago, and I've been doing pixel art on and off, and I've learned a lot from the critiques I received there, and I think it's a really great format to increase your abilities as an artist. And well, there's been some discussions going on with whether how useful critique actually is in terms of growing for an artist. But
yes.
Well, I still think it is a valid form of growing your skills. So
yes,
yeah,
and even if it's not, the fact that we're doing it on a forum means other people can have a look at it, and it'll help them grow because there'll be advice on something that maybe they needed help.
Yeah,
with.
even if it is unsolicited.
Even exactly, yeah.
But that's what makes it fun. Okay, yeah, I've been doing like I said, pixel art on and off for a couple of years now. I don't know. It's just a hobby really, but I really like it, and I think I have a good view on things. So let's see if someone can learn something from this podcast.
Yes. Hopefully some of our completely unsolicited critique will actually be useful to someone.
I mean, maybe it should be said, we are not thinking of us like the godfathers of pixel art or art in general, because we're certainly not.
Yes,
although
and we may give
like
bad
to be,
advice sometimes.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just like to provide feedback when we can provide some, and well, maybe have a little bit of fun along.
Yes, and at the very least we'll make comments on people who are better than us, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can just call us out if you want and tell us how shit we are.
Yeah, but then we're totally going to tell you that you're the one who doesn't know what they're talking about, and we're amazing.
That's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, let's dive into the first piece of pixel art that we're going to look at today.
Let's dive right in.
Okay, now it should be mentioned that we're just looking at the top ranking pixel art in reverse chronological order, right? Or I don't even know what order.
Yeah, I mean, we're just scrolling down the page and see what sticks out. Then we're gonna talk about it for a bit and then go to the next piece.
Yes. Excellent. So, first piece is someone seems to have updated a sprite from a game. I'm going to say that I do prefer the face of the new one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, and of course the animation is way more fluid.
Yeah, a lot of secondary animation and motion going on, especially in the hood and hair. It's working great.
Yeah, it's working very well. And they've changed the feet, which is definitely one of the first things that threw me off about that old piece. And I think their hair is just more cool this way. It's less less symmetrical.
It has more form as well.
Yeah, it has more form, less symmetrical. Same with the eyes. I think, yes, this is very much an impressive job here. I don't know how far apart these two pieces of pixel art are, but he's done
that would
very
be
well
interesting to know. Let's see if there's...
Like, how much experience has he gained in this small period of time?
I mean, this is like half a year, or is it more like 2? I don't know. But
yeah, it's a good point. And like, how quickly did this person learn? In any case, I would say, it's Iceless, right? We know him. Anyway, one thing that I don't like, there's too much noise on the shoes, and
the sliding feet.
I'm assuming that I
hate the sliding feet.
I don't really know how people slide their feet like that in real life. It's not real. And then I don't like the fact that the hands are also... They have so many shades of them, considering, and I assume they're hands, like what's under the coat. In the previous one, he wasn't even
assuming that she's like wearing panties and is more or less butt naked.
I see.
That's the impression I get, anyways. Because you also see pieces of the leg as well.
That's a good point. Maybe it is just that she's naked underneath, which I suppose is an impressive thing to do. Yes, please keep people naked underneath. But still, I think I would have used fewer colors to describe that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, most of the shades are using like 2 colors, like on the hood.
Yeah.
And well, the hair has 3 colors.
But I mean, it's
2 as well. And then there's
I
don't know.
And then it's like
it's just getting a bit hard to read, I suppose.
Yeah, basically her actual body underneath the coat is a little bit hard to read. And considering the original sprite was just black underneath, I don't see what he particularly needed to introduce all these new colors. I also dislike the use of so much black. Just like plain black is just bad in pixel art. I think it's generally too actually dark. It's probably the same with most art. But yeah, it looks good. Well done. That's a very, very impressive change that you've done there. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Cool. Hey Odid, just saying hi. Users joining.
This Orisa, we've briefly talked about this just before. You didn't know the character, so...
Yes, so I don't play Overwatch, and I don't know what this is. So I will do the critique first, because then it's from a person who doesn't know this character. My first comment on this was, what on earth is going on here? Because it's not very readable. I mean, if I stare at it long enough, I can see that there are 3 legs, kind of like horsey legs, and infer that there's a 4th one on the other side. I can see that there's an arm. That one's pretty clear, but the second arm, the right arm, it's hard to tell what that is. It does come out as like a gun-like thing, like a sort of Mega Man gun or something to that effect. Maybe Metabots. And then she has a head with horns and something sticking out of her back, or part of her back, which I also can't really tell what that is.
Either bongo drum or speakers.
Yes, bongo drum or speakers is basically what we're getting out of this, maybe. Or what is that little game when you play where you have to catch the ball on that weird hooky stick thing? Maybe one of those. But yeah, so
I don't know what you're talking about.
I assume that if you knew the character, you'd be like, oh, bam, holy cow, that looks exactly like Orisa. Orisa? Maybe?
I'm not sure it's pronounced correctly, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, alright. But That said, love the colors.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely great colors.
Some
I think
great choices
you
in
often
there.
find that colors. We didn't mention this on the previous art as well. It's actually really good colors. That's a nice blue. Colors actually make pixel art a lot more likable. Use of generally a use of lots of good colors that work well together and a nice amount of saturation will do well. Will be popular. But I don't advise just doing that to make up for poor art, just before that's what people think I'm saying. Yes. So, forms that are being described here, I can tell a lot of things are about the shape that they are, so that's pretty well done on the lighting source there. But maybe it's a little bit cramped, some
Yeah,
proportions
it's definitely
are off.
cramped. The pose is hard to read even if you know the character. I mean, yeah, it's folded legs. That kind of works, I suppose. But then if you try to look at the silhouette, I mean, it just gets completely lost. You cannot tell whatever it would possibly even be. And Orisa is a really distinct silhouette. So it's...
Does she?
Yeah, well, she's a big...
That's a good point, yes.
Four-legged fucking thing.
Robot, yeah, that's true. So yeah, there's some perspective problems and some size problems and stuff. But I like some of their pixel technique here. Got some cool clusters going on.
When it comes to technique, what I don't like about this piece... Ah, shit. Cannot really zoom it in properly. There's some selective outlining going on, and I'm never really a fan of those.
You know that the previous piece actually had selective outlining on the bottom of it.
Didn't pay attention to that, to be honest. But here it kind of sticks out because you have a dark outline on her left shoulder. There's a dark outline, then it vanishes into some bright rim lights. And
it does just look like a part of the piece is missing.
Yeah,
or like they've forgotten some pixels here and there.
Then there's like these on her butt. There's like missing pixels on the outline. I think it just looks inconsistent and I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I would prevent, or I would just not go for selective outlining in general, because it introduces noise into the piece, and
it does.
I haven't seen a piece benefit from it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's generally not a good thing to do. But yeah, positives, more positives. I mean, I like the little flappy thing between her legs. It's got some cool things happening there.
You always like the flappy thing between the legs.
You know. Drats. There we go. Okay, well. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say on this particular piece.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm going to end at that note. Yes, the flappy thing. Done. Okay, let's move along.
Okay, the next piece, I'm not sure what this is. At first glance, it doesn't look like PixArt, at least in the clouds. I think I have to blow it up a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to open up in a new tab. So I had a quick look at this. From what it sounds like, this is pixel art from 1990, if I'm understanding this post correctly. So not the person who posted this, in all likelihood. So it's an old piece of pixel art, and which explains the Microsoft Paint looking ground and the interesting noise that they have going on in the clouds. But it also looks like there's a little bit of save this to PNG and
to be honest, I'm not sure if this is like badly jumbled pixel art, or if there's like a soft painting with some pixel grain on it. It's really hard to tell. I mean, the ground looks like maybe a posterized photo. I'm not sure. It's really hard to judge what this piece is. I mean, at first glance, it looks really cool because the clouds in the box. That's really nice, but I'm not sure. We can do much.
I'm not even sure if this counts as pixel art at this point. I think if you use the spray can tool, then people immediately are like, nah. But a shame. This piece looks like it's gone through some artifacting through JPEG a couple of times. So, but only in the clouds. That's weird.
Well, it's old, right?
To be crispy. Yeah, it's old.
From the 90s.
Anyway, so
It suffered some wear and tear.
It suffered some wear and tear. Cool concept.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not that this critique is going to help anyone at all, but yeah, I think that maybe doesn't even count as pixel art. So, moving along.
Next piece, Unrain. 2 colors, except
2 colors.
There's 3. Well, considering whether you consider
if you count black or
black
not.
color. But well, it's 3 indices, so it's not 2 colors when you look at it from that perspective. So yeah.
Okay. So and also this. Yeah. So we have 3 colors, but that's fine. 2 non-black colors. We'll go with that. They've used I'm not a fan of this word has escaped me right now. The thing where you make the pixels in a grid pattern so that they look.
Oh, dithering.
Dithering. I'm not a fan of dithering. Also, if you look at this, whoa! Are the pixels that are different size in here, or is that just?
Are you saying
No, they're not.
they used pixels?
No, they didn't use
I don't
pixels.
see any.
Okay, then I would have just been like, oh no, please don't hurt me. Okay. It's really hard to tell. It like almost looks like there's some sub-pixel rendering going on or something, but no, it's just maybe this is the video format's fault that it's in. Yeah, I mean they've got reflection. There's cool water droplets going into the sky.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's got a
well animated
cool.
as well.
Yeah,
looks almost like a star thing. What's the fucking word? What's with forgetting words all the time?
We're good at words. That's what if you guys have to take anything out of this. It's that we know our words. Excellent. Yeah, I don't know.
Shooting stars. That's the word.
Oh, shooting stars. Okay, cool. Shooting stars. Yes.
So yeah, it fits
so
the theme
cool.
with the starfield in the background as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the way that this person's done some flickering stars that look not so great, but because they kind of look.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, with
screen.
that amount of colors, it's hard to get some
been.
decent flickering going on. So I think it works.
True, yeah.
But you're right. When it comes to the dithering, I mean, dithering can work really well, and with this amount of colors, it's really almost a necessity, unless you're just using like big clusters to shape everything out.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, I think the piece doesn't really benefit from it all that much.
Yeah.
Except,
I don't think
I don't know.
benefits.
It also is looking rather flat. I mean, there's like 2 planes, like the front plane with a little rock in front, and then the back plane, and there's nothing going on really in between, which is a shame because that could bring everything a little nicer together as well.
Yeah. That's just sorry. I'm just laughing because some of our commenters are busy mentioning that they backed our Kickstarter and didn't get any rewards. And that all of our words are lies. And that they need night vision.
Yeah,
well,
you should have known it was a
these.
fraud, so...
Yes.
Get fucked.
Yeah. Should have known better. Okay, so I'm well done for going through all the effort of using only 3/2 colors. Awesome animation. It looks really good, especially considering your limitations.
Yeah. One thing I'm not sure about though, the water animation. I mean, it does look good, but I keep seeing water animation done like that again and again lately.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not sure if there's like a tool or shader going on that creates this effect that people are using now.
You're quite right, actually. I have seen quite a bit of pixel art just use this,
Because
and then rely.
It does look very fluid, right?
Yeah, it does, and then rely solely on the animation to get the pixel piece through. But I don't want to say shame this guy, please did not do this. Like maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he went through all the effort. Like maybe but maybe he used it all. We won't know. Cool. I'm happy to move on.
Maybe someone can enlighten us on this.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So here's another piece that has some more dithering in it. Oh, it's taller than I expected. I guess that is expected.
You gotta zoom out for this a little bit. I gotta zoom out a little bit so I can get it on the whole screen.
Oh, I see. You're welcome to look at the whole thing together. I will zoom in to see some more pixels. The stars are all crosses. There's a lot of dithering at bits in the background, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, people use dithering as gradient for the sky in a lot of cases. I mean, it's alright, I think, to just get a more nicer sky gradient without using a bunch of colors.
Yeah. You also are probably going to discover very soonly that there are mixels going on here. If you look at the face, I actually...
Oh yeah.
I can't actually deal with mixels.
Okay,
So-
let's zoom in a little bit so we don't see the face.
So painful. You
Yeah.
can't use mixels. Okay, so mixels are... Sorry, we didn't... Mixels are when you use two different
Resolutions.
resolutions of pixels. So you'll
Like
see
the main
nose-
face is like done in these big chunky pixels, and then it was blown up, and then it was received the paint over at the zoomed in.
Yes, a later pixel paint over at the zoomed in thing. So
Yeah.
the size of the pixels, each pixel.
So you have
assuming
big
that the
chunky
nose is-
pixels and some like smaller jaggy pixels and some lines that don't fit the resolution as well with the hairline.
Yeah, exactly. So this is always painful, and the scene itself.
It's also been saved as JPEG. Looks like there's some blending over. No.
All right, let's not save pixel art as JPEG in any case where it's possible. I mean, you can actually save JPEG without loss, so it's not the biggest issue. Anyway, so ignoring the fact that this is the worst quality for pixel art because of mixels and the massive amount of dithering that's happening in the background, I like the background buildings have less detail and there is atmospheric diffusion. What's the word for it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And
maybe it could blend in a little better together because the atmosphere and the hue of the buildings is a bit different.
Yeah, it is. You're quite right. It is different, but I mean they've tried.
But overall, yeah.
So,
Overall, it's been working out.
yeah, no, it's actually it looks pretty cool from that perspective. I don't like this building to the front left. It's doesn't fit the perspective of anything.
Yeah, it's also mixels again. If you compare it to the skyscraper on the right.
It does look like mixels. So, but hey, whatever. I mean, maybe mixels are the future, and we're just old. So, but cool. I mean, you know, he used mixels, and from far it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, overall, I'd say more consistency. Also, the more you realize mixels are in there, it's just gonna happen.
No,
I mean,
becomes very
the
painful.
moon, the dithering, then the buildings are bigger resolution, and then there's another different resolution. I mean, just stay consistent with your resolutions, and then your piece will automatically look more like one piece. If that makes sense at all.
Yes. yeah. What do I think? Yeah. So, like, you know, well done, good start, but I think that you should maybe consider just using 1 pixel resolution for everything.
Yeah, that would be the biggest takeaway from this, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Don't use mixels. It's a life lesson.
Don't use mixels. Let's continue. I see another piece. This is looking splendastical at first peek.
Oh yeah, it does.
Liking the use of this. So here is another example where they've used absolutely amazing colors because
Definitely.
This is how you attract people.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely done by someone who is good at all kinds of art because they have. This is good. This is a good composition. It's like everything is, all the forms are there. Everything's shaped well. I can see where the right. Okay, there's one mountain that's maybe a bit weird, but maybe it's a massive mountain. Yeah, nicely layered. Like stuff that's close looks totally different to stuff that's far away.
Yeah.
It's just, and there are no mixels. Look at that, brilliant.
Bam.
Yes, this is good. And this draws my
the magic
attention to
sauce.
the right
Just don't
place.
use mixels, and it's just gonna look amazing.
It's gonna instantly. No, so this is definitely this person knows what they're doing with their pixel art.
I don't see anything that
specifically
like
art.
pops out to me that I would criticize, other than maybe the tree trunk, but that's really just nitpicking at this point.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, look at that. There's a wrong thing right over there.
Yeah, I mean the
But
brown in the
otherwise-
tree trunk kind of sticks out. But hey, that's it. Here's your critique. You did a good job.
You did well.
Congratulations. This looks amazing.
Congratulations. I will continue to say the stuff that looks close from the difference and the closest with my diploma of close differences. He's chosen to make the background there with the sky more saturated than the stuff that's really close here. You can see how very desaturated the stuff that's really close to the greens, which is different from normal. People often decide to use very saturated greens, because saturated greens are probably the best way to get people to like your art. People love greens. And especially I love this, like these leaves on the right here. They're doing things for me that they should do.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then there is some I like the blues in the middle, and then it becomes lighter in the dark one. You can tell that the sun is out somewhere else pointing over things. It's always nice when people include like subtle hints to what's happening outside of a piece, stuff that you can't see.
Since you mentioned blues, though, one thing that just stuck out to me is like the little rivers, or
the close river, all the rivers, I guess.
Pretty much the ones in front are sticking out to me with a very bright saturated blue, and
it's true.
They should be more in a pinkish or purple.
Yeah, they should be the same size
because
as the
they're
sky.
just reflecting the sky, and there's no blue in the sky, at least not in this direction. So that's
and from
a bit of an
where the
inconsistency.
Yes, from where the reflection is, we'd definitely only be able to see the sky in front of us, not the sky above us, because that water is probably not on a slope facing towards us. So, the tiniest bit of critique. Oh, well, I might as well look for actual pixel techniques, because usually in a piece like this, most of the beauty comes just from like their art techniques, and less from like how well have they put pixels in here to convince your brain that pixels are happening. I like the clouds. Whatever he's tried to put on the grass has not worked. There's those white
flowers
things over there, that gray stuff. I'm not even sure what is going on.
Yeah, this
there
looks indeed kind of out of place. Everything is like nicely hinted at, and they are just like really in your face.
Yeah, it stands out a little bit. So probably, it would be nice to see some part of this which showed off pixel technique. But overall, damn good art piece. So it looks really good.
Oh yeah.
Good.
I'm curious though, what do you reckon, how many colors does this have?
What, do you want to like guess how many colors there are based on? Okay. Ooh.
I'd say like, maybe 30,
there's a
35, 40? That's my estimate. I'm gonna check.
19. Oh yeah, I think this is above 30.
Oh yeah, it's
like,
definitely above 30.
It's like maybe even close to 50.
It's 90, but maybe there's some...
What? Ew.
Yeah, well, if you zoom in, there's some really subtle hue changes in there. And I'm not sure, maybe it can be reduced a little bit, because there are a couple colors that are really similar to each other.
Yeah, there are a lot of colors now that you mention it. Wow, there are so many colors in this. Okay, pixel art technique for this guy. He doesn't do much of the restricted pixel art. Count on your fingers. Great doing. He doesn't do a lot of the restrictions of pixel art. Wait, so I'm just going to do a quick segue, just distraction. Pixel art as a medium, generally people rely on, well, not rely on, but it's generally the restrictions that are set on people that sort of make pixel art worth using as a medium. some people seem to use it just because it has a cute, unique style. Like in this piece, I would say this is someone who's used pixel art because he likes how the big blocky effects look.
How the aesthetic looks.
Yeah, how the aesthetic of pixels look, as opposed to...
I mean, he knows what he's doing as well, right?
Yeah.
It's a really competent piece.
Yes, as opposed to making a pixel art with restrictions, where he's using... Yeah, and I'm sure you get people who would get picky about pieces having 90 colors being called pixel art.
I mean, personally, it doesn't really matter to me if you use like 30 or 90 colors, but well, you could have probably get away with like 40 colors if you want. But well, that's I guess personal preferences, and
yeah, maybe he wanted to really get the mood across with more colors. Like, I don't really know, but. Yeah, and there's there's a bit of banding going on as well. Okay, cool. So lots of banding on the water as well. Excellent. He's made all of the beginner mistakes for pixel art, but damn, does this piece look good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's take the next
32
one.
pixel art, 32-bit pixel art. That's what we need in the future. Okay, this
can just get right over this.
Pixel art. No, let's speak on it. Okay, so why isn't this pixel art?
This is a screenshot with a 2D lighting shader on top of it, so it's more to show off the pixel lighting than
just showing off the pixel lighting.
So because it's actually just a screenshot from the game.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah, he's just put in artificial lighting. Yeah. So.
Well, when it comes to this, the lighting, it's very saturated. If you want to crit on that real quick, I don't know. It doesn't cast any shadows. It's not consistent. If you look at the table, half of it is lit, the other half isn't.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, in what situation does that happen? It's a curved table. You just don't realize that yet. Yeah. No, this is okay. Next one. Moving on. So.
V asks, "What's bad about bending? I like bending together."
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Peanut Gallery. Not even gonna comment. That's what you get for that one. Next one is an animation. This is cute. I like
the animation set.
Yes. So this person clearly knows their animation because I mean, look how smooth that is, and how cool the movements are.
Look at the little gate. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, the gate's gorgeous. His little hop's cute, and the way he dies is just magical with this ghost leaving him. So definitely a skilled animation expert going on here.
Yeah, there's a nice bob. There's nice fluid movements all around.
Yeah, but I do have problems with the readability based on contrasts and colors used specifically for the guns. Like at this large resolution, you can see there are little details on the guns, but at any smaller resolution or at high speeds, you probably wouldn't be able to pick up much of the contrast that this guy has used, because the colors are all very similar, and he's also arbitrarily chosen some highlights, it seems, at times. Like sometimes he's using
there's definitely more detail on the guns than on the character, because that's pretty much just a flat shading with some hints at shading, like in the crotch area and the back of the hood. And then the guns have 2, 3, maybe 4 shades. I can't really tell. It's switching too quickly between them. Looks like 3.
Yeah, like a couple. And then there's some logo on his t-shirt, which is probably unnecessary, and something strapped across his chest.
It looks like there's a belt around his chest and maybe some weapon attachments on it, but I'm not sure. Just really hard to read.
Yeah, it's probably he probably wanted to go with ammo belt or something, but I don't think that the way that he's done it is how I would have chosen to do it. Yeah, and I would have tried to stick in a few more brighter colors or just better contrast in a couple of places. Maybe put some sweet gold trim on some things so that you have something cool sticking out, just to get it a little bit more readable. But I do like simple styles like this. I've always been quite a fan. Yeah, so
it's also really
well done.
Yeah, I don't want to say really easy to animate, but it's much easier if you don't have to sweat about shading all that much.
Yes, yeah. So like having a simple character is a great idea for animation because you will save yourself so much time. And also, if you can pull off a cool style without needing a bunch of colors, then why do it? You can go ahead and do this, get a bunch of animations. It looks cool.
Oh, wow, apparently we are purists, biased purists.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we are biased purists though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I do have some purism, bias in me.
Definitely when it comes to mixels.
Yeah, definitely when it comes to
among
mixels,
a few other things, but generally
among a few other things. But mixels, I just cannot deal with mixels. This guy didn't use mixels. This piece is amazing.
Oh yeah,
moving on.
That's right.
Good job, guy. Cool. Ooh, I like this. I like this. This seems nice.
Well,
all right.
from first glance, I realize I have to look around a lot to see what's all going on, which is both good and bad. And I think a lot of it is due to the restricted amount of colors.
Yeah. This person
Just
has
so many details.
5 colors?
In,
5. How many colors is this? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mm-hmm.
5. Is it 5? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, it looks like 5.
6, maybe?
6? Let me check.
Brains off. Hey, it's like 1, 2. Fuck, I'm using my hands, guys. I'm gonna use my hands to get this right. You can always trust hands to get things.
Yeah, it's 6.
I think 5.
No, it's 5.
6, okay.
It's 5. Yeah, he didn't use
Okay,
the transparent color.
Ah, yeah. Okay, cool. 5, excellent. And yeah, so this person has decided to stick on limitations. They have, yeah, there are some problems with this. There's some perspective attempts on that house where I think the roof changes angles, which I don't think I would bother doing with pixel art. I think you just keep everything facing the screen directly.
Yeah, I mean at that resolution you only get into like a lot of jaggy lines at some point with perspective.
Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that they've used one dark color for the background so that you can just ignore it if you want to. I think that the characters have a good amount of contrast on them, so you can tell where they are, but maybe those buildings are a little bit too bright then by comparison. Because
Yeah, they blend in. Well, especially the character in front of it blends right in.
And blends right in, and the top part of that house is brighter than the characters. In fact, it pulls my attention more than the characters. Even the knight. Like, I think the knight is the only thing that compares because of how much he has going on. That I'm able to like maintain attention there. Cool interface. This is very cute. I like it. This guy has used dithering, by the way, which he's done a lot better than previous dithering attempts. So it looks good.
Very deliberate dithering. That's
yes, very deliberate dithering. Has done very well for it, and he's gone through a lot of effort to make a very cute little border over there, which I like for things. May I help you, dear sirs? Which is cute to the dialogue. Not sure who's talking. I presume the guy in front of the house, though. That makes the most sense. NPC's a little bit unfair. That pig does look fantastic as well. That 10 out of 10 for this pig.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Cute interface.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy's face on the left at the bottom, that avatar, could have been different because it doesn't really. There's some problems with it, but is that not a pig?
I'm pretty sure it is a pig.
I guess it might be a dog, theoretically.
Just look at the. Well, no, I don't think it's a dog at all.
Considering
the big snout and the tiny tail and
I
the
think
flappy ears.
Well. And he looks more rounded than a dog would be. I think that this is a piggy.
It's definitely a piggy.
And if it is not, then it's not the best not pig. But it is a fantastic pig, so it should be a pig. It also makes sense to have a pig in a because this looks like they're in some like rural town in
medieval rural stuff.
Somewhere medieval. I was gonna say Holland because of the windmill in the background, but then it's on a hill, so that wouldn't have happened.
Then
camel
we
over
just
here
exposed us. You guys are talking out of your dumb butts. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, whatever, that's what you gotta do to look good on television. Radio? Podcast. Yes, Twitch. That's what you gotta do to look good on things. Yes, so, any more comments from you?
Let's see. Yeah, overall, everything blends too much together, I would say. The characters itself, or themselves, look cool. The night is really nice. There's a lot of detail going on, but it's not so much that you can't tell what's going on, so that's great. It's a nice balance.
Yes.
You see the pauldron, he has a shield, he's this armored skirt.
Armored skirt, yeah.
And a cape, and yeah, it's cool. The other guy is presumably a wizard with a skull staff. And his nose poking out. Which is kind of cute. No, it's great. The guy that is talking to them, he looks good, but I can't really tell what he's doing. Like if he's a smith or if he's just a greeting townsman or if he has any
he looks like
occupation at all.
generic peasant one, really.
Yeah, that's fine, but it would be nice if he'd be a bit more characteristic in that sense. Because everything else is pretty characteristic here.
It's true. Maybe it's just so he blends in even more. Can't even tell.
So he can mug them.
Like commoner.
He just blends in with the wall, waits for passing them by.
Yeah, he's
maybe
actually
shouldn't try to speak to them though.
It's like, what are you doing? Don't talk to me. Don't ask him to help.
Just a random NPC.
Can I help
keep
you?
Going.
Maybe his friend's actually right next to him and you literally can't see him. So this is just ninja in training, and he's like, I kind of look like this wall.
Maybe it's
and
an
I keep
attack
talking
pick.
to people. Yeah. His friends are actually the color. Those background buildings are actually his friends. They're gonna murder you. Yes, you're quite right though. He does actually have cool little characters, which is cute. I would love to see these little guys walking around or something.
Oh yeah, this looks like a fantastic mock-up.
It's fun, very inspirational. I like pieces like that. Cool. All right, now we're going on to another piece, which
it is a dog.
Attempt at a dog. If you read the comment,
True.
But this looks like a dog, not like a pig.
This is how a dog looks. Generally.
The comment was made. I had already commented on your comment that was commented. So, yeah, suck it. Yes, this dog suffers from
perspective.
some weird ass shading, some perspective problems. Why did this... This is a piece where I'm like, why did this need to be pixel art? Again, probably a choice because they liked the numbers of... they like the look of the larger blocks. Maybe they did it because it's easier than drawing digital art. But I can't... There's no good pixel techniques in here.
Yeah. If you squint a little and move back, it could just be vector render as well. It doesn't make that much of a difference, right? That's what you've been saying with this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this could have been a vector render and it would have been just as cute. There's no reason for this to be pixel art. I don't see why not. If you squint a lot, though, you have to go quite far back. And I'm blind, so I don't even... but it's a cute little doggy nonetheless. I think it's cute, and they've used cute colors. Although I guess you could use anyone's palette that is cute, so and just use the right colors.
To point some things out with a perspective, I think the nose is a little shifted to his left, which kind of makes it look like he was in a fate before. And then
Doc has suffered some stuff already. He doesn't need to be insulted as well.
And then I'm not sure what this eyebrow is. And his eye, I think it's in the wrong place slightly, and then it's not really saying anything about his expression. And is it just an eyebrow? Why is it so round and big? Or is it supposed to be his whole eye? I'm not sure. I'm just confused by this eye. That's
just. I think it's just the top of his eye. Maybe it's his eyelashes.
Probably. But dogs don't have eyelashes like that.
Like, shut up, okay? No one cares about if dogs have eyelashes. This is art, and he gets to do what he wants to.
True.
Then also the legs. Like, the legs just...
Yeah, it's just vanishing in a bunch of lines. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, and the two big ones kind of look like the light source changed midway through him, because mostly it looks like it's from the left, a little bit up, and then on the legs it's like, why is there shading on the inside of his leg? Does he have crevices inside his leg?
Maybe it's supposed to be like ambient occlusion, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
Ambient occlusion. It's exactly what this guy is doing. This guy looks like he's on that level. Oh, next level. Alright, cool. Good job. I'm moving on. I'm done with that. The next piece looks cute. I'm ready.
Weapons,
yes.
Lots of weapons.
So I think that we're actually, this is nice because we haven't had many opportunities to actually comment specifically on pixel art techniques, and I think that this is going to give us the opportunity because this person has had to put a lot of detail, or has decided to put a lot of detail into a very small space, which is kind of what I like to see pixel art as happening. These are weapons from Halo. And
like, I'm not familiar with that game at all, other than the name. I
know some of the weapons.
Images.
Yeah, I know some of the weapons. So I think they're very cute, and like that's a cool sword. The sword thing in the middle is a sword beam thing, or like a knife, I guess, more because you can't just stab people with or whatever. It's slash, but and I think the gun that's second from the top on the left like shoots little pieces or absorbs crystal and shoots things. It's a little bit hard to read. Obviously, he's got some problems with readability. Again, there's probably a massive issue here with using contrast. That gun at the top right, there's like that brown is the same color as that, or the same brightness, same value as that gray. The background probably doesn't help either. This art, it's ambient occlusion. Yeah, sadly this piece that's the size of the piece is the best you're gonna get. Yeah, so a couple of things. Yeah, not enough contrast on metal, especially metal is quite shiny. You should use really bright colors when you're working with like bright colors on your metals.
And really dark ones
and
as well.
darks next to it. Yeah, next to it.
And very few in betweens.
And very few in betweens because it's shiny stuff. It's just how it works. Then also don't have your handles the same color as the rest of your gun. It's just like a little bit brown. So zoomed in, you can see what's going on, but I imagine that this is a situation where if we had zoomed out, we would be hard-pressed to actually identify most of the stuff that's happening here. I'm actually going to save this picture because I want to do an edit of it later. That reminds me, we can show the little edit that I did of the last time we looked through.
Oh yeah, we can go through that in the end, maybe?
Yeah, I'll have a look
if
then.
we find the original.
Well, I have the original as
you have both frames, right?
Yeah,
okay.
We can just, 2 frames. Anyway, continue to look at this. So the gun with the crystals, the one with really bright pink in it. The crystals, so here you can see that there are things stabbing out. So I think if you knew what the gun was, you'd be able to tell. You'd be able to tell that there are crystals sticking out, but if someone had looked at that and didn't know that crystals were supposed to be sticking out, they'd be like, it's got pink lights that come out on top, maybe?
It's not
I think he's
really distinct in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Blends
I think
together.
this guy I think this guy relies too much on making everything separate. He's like, here's an entirely separate piece of set of pixels, and this is one thing, instead of trying to create sort of depth using a couple of colors, but just one large cluster that's just been like split up correctly to make it look like it has some kind of texture, or is like a group of crystals. Like you can use a few colors, maybe 2 or 3 colors, and you can make a group of crystals look like a group of crystals without having to separate them individually.
I mean, since you already mentioned clusters and pixel techniques, what it looks like to me is a strong case of pillow shading in a lot of places. because the light is very from the front or from the point of view.
Yeah.
And that just, it doesn't help giving the weapons some depth, and it also leads to a lot of bending with the weapons, which
There's a lot of bending.
also implies detail where there isn't any, like on the big purple gun on the bottom, where it's just the handle, I suppose.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be that much individual pixels here, or clusters, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're quite right. Banding.
It's really hard to tell what's going on with some of the details.
Yeah, you're quite right. Banding, just so everyone knows, is when you have. So the examples are this gun that we're speaking about here. The red one, I think, is also shows a lot of banding. It's when you have, you will have pixels of the same length generally, but not necessarily.
Stacked on top of
different
each other.
colored pixel. Yeah, stacked on top of each other or next to each other in a way that I mean, if you just were to block out that area, you'd see that it almost it looks like one color, another color, another color, another color, another color in each successive line. And then when you combine that with like dropping different heights of them, of that same pattern, it ends up looking like there are weird textures that are happening inside the image, where like straight lines are shooting off somewhere, or there's like some.
I'll just show my screen
indent.
real quick, and so people can see what you're talking about. And
Sure. Do you have the banding? Do you have that? How to do pixel art?
well, I just created a few bands, so.
Oh, okay. Cute. So Weasel, take it away. Show us some banding.
Well, there's bending. You can see it. It's like how Amy just said. It's like you have a line of. Well, it's usually happening when you have an actual diagonal line, or maybe a sloped line, and then you want to start shading it, and just pick the next color you want to shade with, and put it on top of it, which just creates these bars eventually, which kind of implies detail where there isn't, and it doesn't really help create shading all that much. So what you want to do instead is, well, pick a light source first, then figure out what the actual shape is of the thing you're doing, and then try to... A little bit of banding isn't a big problem. Like on the red weapon, let me switch back again. Yeah, where's my mouse? On the red weapon, on the bottom right, there's a little bit of bending going on. Like there's a big 3x3 cluster, which is black, dark red, and bright red. But that's not a problem just on that alone, right? But if you look at the big one in the bottom, it's like the same pattern repeats for almost the bottom half of the gun, and then it just sticks out and doesn't tell you anything about the shape and the form and whatever else. Was that good?
That's like
Did
cool.
I get
Hopefully
my
that
point
was
across?
Guys, yeah. Hopefully this helps with banding. I think that we should whip out the banding, don't band whatever message at some point, just to really show some good examples of where.
I mean, sometimes it can't be prevented to resort to bending, and there's a lot of really good professional art pieces where you can actually look and see quite a bit of bending going on, but try to prevent it if you see it, or if you realize
prevent
it.
Banding. If you realize the band is happening, if you can't help it, it's fine. But if you don't know about your banding and it just happens, sometimes your pieces can end up looking very weird, and they can have different texture to what you anticipate. But overall, though, back to this poor piece.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously think these are adorable and cute and very inspirational. I think that this guy's just suffering from a bit of the just your typical pixel art mistakes, like the most generic pixel art mistakes that people make. But with cool concepts, well, I guess there's someone else's concept, but the way that he's drawn them is very cute. So I think that he'll be able to get to a good space quite easily if he just focuses on a couple of pixel art techniques, which we should cover at some point, I guess, so that people actually know what those are.
Oh yeah.
So we will have an episode where we do just how to pixel art good. And maybe because of your daily vitamins and
5
your
steps to
incessant
become
whining,
a master at pixel art.
we'll maybe even make some pixel art from scratch, but maybe not, because
Man,
making
you're
pixel art
asking
on
for a
stream
lot now.
sounds... Yeah, that sounds like effort, and we don't want to put effort in here.
No,
We
that's
just
why
wanna look at
we're
other
just
people's
reacting
art.
to things.
Yeah, exactly. This is a reaction stream, actually, secretly.
Low effort content.
Yeah, low effort content. That's what I like to
I
see.
mean, we learned
But-
all from PewDiePie, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think this piece is pretty cool though, so chances are very high that I might make an edit of this by the next episode, so I can go into some more details then.
Sounds good.
Cool. Next piece is also so cute. I'm ready.
Comment, okay, this is
Foreshadowing.
hard on the weapons.
This hard.
This hard.
This hard. Good comments. Remember to leave important constructive feedback on people's pages.
Definitely.
Like, okay, this hard.
Not like we're doing right now, but
No,
this hard.
not like us.
definitely.
This hard is what you should say. Okay, next piece is
Scully
Interesting.
Octopus. Black Mage Octopus.
Scully Octopus thing. Ah, very cute. Again, cool concept. Way too many colors. Look at that halo. What is even happening there? That's 55 different colors that you don't need going on there. That's those are.
Yeah, it should be maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, like 3 would have done you pretty well. Although, I mean, you know, let me not tell this person that he's a bad human being, because he has at least used those colors well. Like, he's put in these colors. I disagree that there need to be too many, but he.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
knows
when you
what
look
he's
at
doing.
the octopus itself, it has a fairly low color count, even though it's
Yeah,
bigger
yeah,
and more
yeah.
detailed. So, what gives?
Why not?
Where does it come from?
Yeah, what gives? Why did you choose this? You could have done with less.
Yeah.
So there are some interesting color additions here and there. I feel like they're maybe trying too hard to bring in extra, like these extra little hues here and there, which are pretty exciting. Don't make me wrong. And in digital art, I love to see it when people have these cute greens and stuff in places where you would normally not expect to see them. But yeah, it does create a bit of noise, and
Andy?
it's unnecessary. Yes.
There's a question. What does the
What
font
does
say
the
at the bottom?
font say? What do fonts ever say? Because you just said what does the text say?
Yeah, on the bottom of
Yeah.
the picture.
I have no idea.
I can't make any sense of it.
I mean,
Is there a hint somewhere?
is this? You can't read it. Yeah, I can't. That's what I said.
Huh.
It's like,
Oh well.
okay. Oh well, we've been caught out, guys. We can't read. Okay.
At least this
Anyway,
particular
moving on.
word.
So the part that I dislike about this piece, okay, well, other than, you know, the extra random colors, the chest, neck, skull, skeleton, not skull, sorry, everything that isn't skull, skeleton, but or hanging stuff is hard to read and does not have a consistent light source which is probably why it's hard to read. That makes it tricky to actually tell what's going on there. Right? Like, if
Looks
I
like
assume
a piece
it's
of
some
armor or some more decorative kind of thing, like a scarf maybe with a bit of armor
scarfy
pieces
thing?
on it and some gems.
some
I'm
game.
not sure. I'm really
Gem
not
here
sure.
and
It's hard to tell what exactly this is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a black mage, right? So it's probably some ritual robes, I would assume.
Some?
Ritual
Oh.
robes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright. Maybe. Yeah, so, definitely trouble reading that, then. Okay. Vitamin's asking about the mirror tool, so presumably if we read this in reverse, it would
I
read...
don't think that's what she's talking about. The piece is actually mirrored.
Oh,
completely.
right, damn it. I'm totally on the right ball. I'm not tired at all, so...
It's actually not
Don't worry about
entirely
that.
mirrored because the strings hanging down on the
Yeah, they are slightly
let's say rope.
asymmetrical.
Yeah, but the rest of it is
Yeah.
Pretty
with
much
all the
mirror
rest,
tooled.
but yes, definitely mirror tooled. Also, they have that thing where your eyeballs are a different color, except they're dead, so really it's just, 2 different gems. Yes, they have done it with the tentacles, which is very unrealistic. I do prefer the pieces that aren't as symmetrical, purely because,
It's more interesting to look at.
But that said, this piece does seem to rely a bit on its symmetry.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't suffer from it, but
Yeah.
where you have to pay attention is like the direction of the light, and you can see that really well on the gems of the rope, because on one gem it's like coming from the right, on the other the highlights are coming from the left. And it's like, what's going on here? Where's the actual light source then?
Yes. Yeah, the light source is quite clearly coming from the middle of the image and going to both sides in a pillar fashion. Yes. So, could use better light source. Cute use of colors. Haven't mentioned the colors yet.
Design's nice.
I do like I like these greens. They make me happy. I like these pinks and purples and reds. They make me happy. Actually the chest area, I don't like the color. I don't like how hard it is to read. I don't like the chest, really. Just the chest and neck. They're not for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
And the cute wiggles at the bottom that I don't even know why they're there, but they're cute.
Yeah.
So, yes. Cool. Saved as well might donate it. Or less likely to donate it. Maybe I'll just leave it there to be cute.
Alright.
Okay, what does our next piece look
cool.
like? Oh, comments, right, of course, you gotta read the important comments about what other people had to say about this piece.
This looks like a study, maybe, or some PixArt rendered 3D models? Maybe not, I'm not sure.
Hard to say. Yeah, so, I mean, there are pixel art games that have started to use this. Oh my word, have you seen how many colors there are? That's like complete wow. Okay. This is interesting. I think this may be scaled down 3D models.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe?
I mean, the lighting strongly hints at that.
Yeah.
As well as the lack of detail in the face.
Yeah, it's true. I think this is just scaled down. That dude on the right, though, doesn't even have right proportions. And what's he doing with his hand there? Not.
He's asking for money, obviously.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Someone's literally asked, are these 3D models rendered in low res? Which makes sense, because they probably are.
Yeah, but no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I mean, why would you reveal it? A magician never reveals their tricks.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
I thought that's an ad for a second. Good job.
Well, that's a good
job.
Yeah, good job. It's like, look at this Nissan 720 advert. I don't even... Wait, hold on. Okay, so this is at one time? So this is going to be tricky to read.
Oh, let me...
You're gonna have to open that up in something that can render pixels. In the meantime, I shall speak because I love the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I can see that he's chosen some very, very slightly lighter blacks for the wheels, the tires. As you can see, the individual tread. There's a lot of attention to detail, even though... Wow, okay. This person has paid a lot of attention to every little piece of car. In fact, those rims are insanely impressive. He's kept them symmetrical, which is cool. Well, obviously, to help him, because if you made those non-symmetrical, it would be really tricky. I assume this is actually pixel art.
Yeah, does look like it. I mean, if it were scaled down, something wouldn't be as consistent.
Yeah, it's true.
But
it's
damn,
true. He wouldn't have got his wheels.
Ton of work in there.
Yeah, this is impressive.
I mean, just the aliasing or anti-aliasing on the outlines. What?
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Why would you do this manually? Wow. Are you insane?
Actually, yes. This is insane. Why would you go through all this effort? Oh my word! Look at look at the rims. That's actually crazy. Okay, so I'm Oh,
What you
man.
talking about?
The rims. His rims. The top car's rims.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's so much detail in there. This is
Yeah.
actually... Yeah, if this guy has done this all manually by hand, pixel arted, this is quite insane. And a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah, but then again, it begs the question: why is this PixArt in the first place, right?
Yeah, why is this pixel art? They've gone through all that. But that said...
That's some impressive fucking.
Yeah,
piece
like
of
if
work.
you wanted to draw a truck in a game, might as well do it photorealistically. Maybe it was just a wow, and he did it in MS Paint. Okay, so this took this guy 3 years to do, right?
Probably.
Using MS, he went through all the effort of anti-aliasing in MS Paint. That's actually crazy. Okay, hold on. He used scaled blueprints and then took it into MS Paint and then went over it. So that...
Talking about this in the thread?
Yeah. He comments. So it's obviously... so this is scaled down images that have been cleaned up, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And paint over it,
he's
maybe?
cleaned them up.
And giving them a paint over.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to know this person's car. I mean, it's illegal, you know. Yeah, okay, well, he's done a really job to clean it up. But yeah, since it's just a model, I don't know how I feel. Can't really comment much since it's...
me neither. It's really hard to tell what's the purpose and what's going on, and it just looks really cool. That's all I can say about this.
Made a great car.
But it looks unpractical, to be honest.
Looks unpractical. But, I mean, he's definitely... You can see that he's gone through the effort of placing pixels in a way that makes this very readable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is extremely readable.
Yeah.
If you had scaled down an image to this size, it wouldn't be this readable. So he's definitely fixed up a lot. His understanding of this must be very good, just because...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of patience. Please don't use MS Paint. You will save yourself hours. But well done for doing that nonetheless.
Alright. Let's switch to the next one.
Next one, which is... I don't know what this is.
Pixel art of Mirage. From our Apex Legends. Apparently a character from that game.
Okay, cool. Alright.
It's blurry. It's the JPEG.
That is blurry, yeah. This is... You got some JPEG going on. Please don't save your images as JPEG, because... Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have
Why would you use
no idea
pixels
how...
then if you just blur it out?
Yeah, it's like, I've done all this pixel art, and now I'm going to make it into a JPEG and post it on the internet where people can look at it. And he's got some dithering. Anyway, yeah, ignoring that. Going on.
Oh, yeah.
Which he's done tasteful dithering, and it's used to imply some details of the beard. So that's cool, because it's nice when you use dithering with the effect of giving texture to the thing underneath it. Again, this is someone who's clearly very comfortable with your traditional art methods. They understand, like, they know how to make form here. It does sort of conjure up questions of why choose pixel art for this piece. Again, you could have just, you know, used some other lines, but it is very good looking. He's used good colors. It's a the form is defined amazingly. Like, yeah, no problems from that department. Actual pixel techniques. Let's just look here.
I don't know, for some of these things, I think should actually look up how the character actually looked, because I can't tell if some of these are supposed to be like just shading or maybe scars.
I assume they were scars. Good point. Have a look at who Mirage is. And we can tell if actually this is hideous, and who knew.
Images.
Doesn't look like this at all. He's actually a small dinosaur.
There is one.
There's the perfect picture as
well. It's throwing
everything is exploding.
At me. No. God damn it. Copy link address. Go here. Fucking hell. Yeah, we can see him here, I suppose.
Yeah, alright, fine. We'll just use this
I
then.
can't even zoom in. What is
Oh my
it?
god!
Technical
Stop.
difficulties,
Okay.
help!
This is great. So
Okay,
this
is actually the image. Here's
Yeah,
the
I was
red.
actually... I was gonna say, this
Yeah, almost.
kind...
Well, it looks very
Okay.
similar.
Yes, so we found his reference image. And I guess in that case, I rescind all of the things that I said about defining form. Because this human being has just copy-pasted everything. Maybe he just scaled it down and put pixels over it. That is
No,
naughty. Don't do that.
I don't
Please
think
make
that's what
your own
happened.
pixel art. With a username like loser.com-com, I am not even surprised. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, that's a filthy lie. What did I do? How did I cross-posting? Why do people cross-posting? Okay, some other dude posted this. Zebra.
Zebra 1.
Zebra 1.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's just an overpaint or rescale.
Okay.
There's
So
two
you just used
distinct
the reference.
differences, yeah.
Okay, cool. I can't really see on your screen because, blur, but I'm glad that he actually looked at the reference and replicated it.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Still, that does mean that he didn't have to actually define form very well. He just had to copy the form that existed. But he done okay. Maybe he even used the color picker tool. Honestly, when something's that close to a reference, I start to question whether it's good or not. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
Like, basically,
possible.
this could be really amazing if they just, like, looked at that and then did this. Or it could be, like, they just copy-pasted, rotated it, and, put some pickles over it. And you're like, yeah, look, I'm amazing. So, meh.
Yeah, meh.
Meh. Meh.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I was like,
Next.
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 End result looks cool, but
Oh, yeah, that's
how much
true.
of that is really you, bastard? Next one
Okay,
is
Professor
a little
1.
animation.
Smallest enemy units.
Yes. Okay, so this is probably a game that already
Actually,
exists
It's not
or
looping.
something. Some muck, yes. No. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a game mockup. There's a character that looks like an underwater scene, maybe, because he has a fishbowl on his head.
Yes.
He does also have a
does.
coat, which doesn't make much sense underwater, but I'll let it slide
yeah.
for the rule of cool.
Yes. Yeah. You're allowed to do whatever you wanna. I mean, and the enemies do kind of seem water-based.
Mhm.
Because they've got tentacles. Reminds me of those little flying brain tentacle things from, was it Duke Nukem?
Oh, I'm not
Or
sure.
was it Doom? One of them definitely had weird flying
Doom had
brain
flying
tentacle
skulls
things.
without
Flying
tentacles.
things with teeth that try to, like, bite you. Not pleasant. So the animation is a little bit lacking in frames.
Yeah.
Some might
It's like
even say...
it's actually just 2 frames for the enemies.
Yeah. The enemy's 2 frames, the character's 2 frames,
That's
and
3 frames.
their
to be
attack
fair.
animation is 1 frame. It's 2 frames. No.
Yeah, they have a little anticipation moment where they almost have
Yeah.
their mouse open, but they didn't yet, and then it's just the same attack going
Yeah.
through 3 times. I'm not sure why is that happening.
Not sure why.
Because if
Okay,
you want...
readability. Oh, sorry.
I'm
I was
I'm
gonna
just
start
curious
critting.
what I'm just curious what this is supposed to be. Let me check real quick if he wrote anything about this. Smallest enemy
There's a
unit.
game
it's-
name, maybe?
It is for a game potentially. Maybe it's a mock-up. Okay, so if this is supposed to be an attack sequence, it's really hard to tell what kind of game this would be. From the main character, I would say this is a platformer. From how
Yeah.
the attack pattern is played out, I would say it's more a turn-based kind of game, where the
It
enemies
does
have
seem
turn
that
and
way.
then they just go in for their attack.
Yeah. Because, I mean, this person's getting attacked and not dying.
Yeah.
Also just getting knocked back, which is interesting. And yeah, no one really moves, so maybe it's just maybe this is an RPG. The background has some stray pixels here and there. I'm thinking maybe this is just because of the video encoding.
Yeah, possibly.
Introducing
I'm not sure what's going on with
That's
it. Maybe it's just, it does look like a lot of transparent layers layered on top of each other, so that's maybe due to the game being a game.
Yes, yeah, the game might have just been doing that. But I'll comment just then, ignoring all that, I'll just comment on the character and enemies themselves. The
Character's cool.
is
I like
hard,
him.
is cool concept, hard to read though. Not really sure what's happening. Looks like armor on the top does have a fishbowl. There's some hair / something else coming out.
Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe.
Not sure. Maybe it's just tubes to go somewhere, but they don't have like a air tank on them that I can see.
Mm-hmm.
The gun is a straight bar with some lights on it, and I don't even know what's happening on the back. Like the lower back there, I don't actually even know
Yeah,
what
just
this is.
things being there.
Yeah, things being
wiggling
there.
around.
The split in the coat dress thing that they're wearing is just arbitrary placed wherever and moves nice, just involuntarily at times. The shoes get shorter in the animation, in the idle animation, and those feet are tiny little feet.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
very
it's a style
spaced-
choice.
spaced very far
Pretty
apart.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Don't mind that.
But
Okay.
if you were to draw out his proportions without his clothing and armors, it would look quite weird.
It would look very bizarre.
Yeah.
Also, not really a consistent light source. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I would say it's a bit everywhere.
Yeah, that also makes it look like he's been like weirdly twisted because the bottom of him looks like he's front facing. The top is almost
He's
looking back
snapping his
facing,
back.
and his face is front facing almost again. So
Yes.
it's kind of hard to tell how he's actually standing there.
Maybe that gap is actually in the back of their coat, and they're just facing the back to us.
That's what I'm thinking. What's
and then
maybe
the
happening, but
feet.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it's okay. Cool. All right. I mean,
I
I'm
mean-
gonna go with it.
Okay, let's look at the enemies real quick because that's what
Yeah.
the piece is actually about, right?
Good point. Yes. All right. The enemies. Yay. Okay. So they are blobs with teeth. You can read that they're teeth. You can read that these are ooey, blobby, floaty things.
Yeah, the tech frame looks
got
not too bad,
tentacles.
to be honest. You can see
Yeah.
the back of the teeth row a little bit. That's cool.
Yeah. No, that is cool. I mean, you can read what's going on here. It suits the rest of the style. It's not
Yeah.
out. from
Also, the
anything
colors
else.
are good on them. It looks nice and flashy.
Yes, you're actually quite right to this. And it definitely reads as like some kind of bloody abominations that fly and are scary.
Yeah, definitely.
I would not want those to attack me in a dark alley, and you can tell that they have these floaty, tentacly.
Yeah. I mean, that's
things.
already pretty nice to get right because I find
Yeah.
it personally really hard to get like flashy colors just right to look disgusting.
So look disgusting. Yes, you've done really well to make this look disgusting. Well done. Your ability to make things look gross.
Congratulations.
Excellent work. Congratulations. Yeah. So I mean that's a good. You've set out with the goal of making new enemies that look like the rest of the piece. You've achieved that, and they're readable enough. And actually, the light source on the enemies is better than on the character. So
True. Yeah, just look at your animations. What's it supposed to convey? If it's just like "Meh, enemies moving, meh," or if it's like, well, this is actually how it is in the game, and how this is how the enemy moves. This is how the player moves. This is how the interaction between the two happens. Because that would be just much more interesting.
yes.
Okay, let's move on. Oh. Another black mage. Oh, it was pixel dailies for black mages.
Pixel.
That explains it.
Okay. I like pixel dailies. Good concept. Okay, that's so. There's two of these. Goodbye. Oh, speaking about elitism.
Yeah.
Please, bruh. Plus, obviously, we're going to be elitist.
We're just
That's
elitist,
half our
purist
job.
assholes.
Yeah, that's quite right.
Straight
That's what we're
out
meant
of
to do.
Pixel Join.
Oh, shots fired. Okay, so little mucky looking black mage.
He's conjuring some magic.
He's conjuring some magic. I can kind of tell what's going on. He's made out of goop, and he's conjuring some balls
I can tell you
above him.
instantly what I hate about this. And that's some aliasing, anti-aliasing outside of the outlines, which just looks like compression artifacts, and I hate it.
Yes, you're quite right. My brain had actually ignored those because it assumed that it was artifacts. But
Yeah, it's really
that's
an impressive
intentional.
feat to make pixel art look like it's compressed.
Okay, so anti-aliasing on pieces, just to discuss this quickly. I don't want to tell people not to do it, because you can do it really well, and you aren't going to be able to do it really well unless you started off by doing it really poorly. So not to tell anyone to shy away from doing anti-aliasing. But it does take a lot of doing anti-aliasing, getting it right eventually.
Yeah, figure out where it makes sense to anti-alias.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually make sense.
It's
But
not like, oh,
there
here's a
are-
curve. There's supposed to be like pixel here to make it smoother. That's not
Yeah.
how it works in a lot of cases.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the time it's done. In fact, you will find a lot of very good pixel artists never anti-alias anything. Their pixel art has no anti-aliasing in it whatsoever, and still looks amazing. So it's not necessary to be amazing. You can get good at it if you.
Yeah. And in
Just
this
try it for a
particular
really long
piece,
time.
it just mushes everything together in a way that
Yeah, most of the time
takes
just
away
makes
from the
things
piece.
looking blurry.
Yep.
And in fact, it would be impressive if someone made a piece that was made intentionally blurry, and I think there are pieces like this. People have made things intentionally blurry by using anti-aliasing, which is insane and great. But, yeah. So, for the most part,
Sounds like most
anti-aliasing-
postmodernist art. Kind of.
but yeah, for the most part, it'll just make things look like they have compression artifacts and blurry. Alright, then, continue the readability. The floating balls are... some of them aren't even properly round. No consistent light source, not really sure what's happening. Doesn't really look like the middle one is glowing, and yet the other ones kind of look like...
Yeah, I think they are supposed to be glowing if you look at the highlights on the character.
Yeah, good point.
But
Okay,
then
so they're supposed
really
to
look
be
like
glowing.
more like reflective balls, more so than emissive balls.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, they definitely look like reflective balls. Not... not any other kind of balls. Yes. And inside of the balls, we see quite a lot of colors, but like this looks like a really good. The middle one looks like a pretty cool marble.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of stray pixels, so maybe just working better on the cluster. Oh yeah, wow, the clusters need to just need some cluster cleanup going on up in here. It looks like there are too many colors, like unnecessary. In fact, there definitely are. 'Cause that purple and that reddish color, brownish red. is
Yeah,
too
that
similar.
brown, I'm not sure what it does
Yeah, a
for me.
couple of extra colors.
I would like it if it would be a bit more saturated and a bit more colorful in a different direction, because everything here is very purple.
Yes, and that's true. Everything's very purple. Yeah. So, some work there, but still looks cool. And looks cool from far. Then the guy himself... I'm not actually sure what's going on here.
Well, he's a really short guy with really long arms.
Yeah, it's a really short guy with long arms, and he's goopy as all hell, and he's got blue bits for raisins.
For contrast, I suppose, and detail.
Yeah, but I don't know what they are, or are supposed to be, or what his dress actually looks like.
Yeah,
And
this
it's
is
got
this is
dithering.
another good, just what I was about to say. This is another good case of more arbitrary dithering, because
Yeah.
it doesn't really help you. It's really hard
Yeah,
to
this
tell
dithering is
what this
hurting.
is going to tell us.
Yeah,
because it
the
doesn't
dithering
tell
is not
anything.
for texture. It's not tasteful. It's just put in a random place. It's
Yeah.
hard.
That's not
to
random,
tell.
but it just looks like shapes that don't belong there.
Yeah. I'm just going to interject once more. Dithering, same case of dithering as it is with anti-aliasing. You're going to suck at dithering at first, but it is possible to be really good at dithering, but you have to suck a lot to get to that point. And again, you could look at a lot of professional pixel artists and notice that there's zero dithering in anything they do. Because it is just possible
Yeah,
to...
people often use it as a crutch because, well, it's PixArt, right? There's supposed to be dithering.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. And in most cases, there actually isn't.
Yeah.
So that's why it's considered a beginner mistake in the first place.
Yes, yeah. It's something that you can get good at eventually, but it's also true that you won't get better at it unless you try. And this guy is trying on both. So maybe one day this guy is going to be insane. He's going to be the very next Leonardo da Vinci of pixel art. But for right now, it's a little bit arbitrary what he throws in, and too many colors, and everything looks noisy, and also the entire sprite seems symmetrical. The light source is like whatever, and I can't really tell what the form is.
Yeah, the form and the silhouette is... I mean, the arms are pretty clear, but when it comes to the head and the rest of the coat,
yeah,
it just... like, I don't know, it looks like a butt plug.
Yep. Excellent, that's exactly right. That's what it is. It's actually, but he's a very scary black mage. I'd be petrified of a butt plug running down the road.
The expression is working out, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. We can move on to the next piece because it seems by the same guy, another
it looks like
Pixel Daily.
The
we get to
Weed.
know him already. Look at another piece of art that he's done. Probably suffers from all the exact same stuff.
Let's see.
This one's more
dithering.
readable.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's got unnecessary dithering. He does not have anti-aliasing.
Yep. But there is a lot of noise going on regardless.
Yes, he still managed to get a lot of noise, a lot of stray pixels, a lot of unnecessary colors.
This is a good contender
shield...
for an edit, to be honest. I would say.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. This is you do it. This is your homework.
Yep.
I will. Actually, shall we?
Because I really like the design, like how he's stretching his arms up and his wings out, and his mad kind of expression and laughter.
Yes. Can I point out that this is
cool.
probably going to be a bit of a wank? It's going to be
maybe
an edit. What do you call it? Edit wank? What's
edit wankery? Yeah.
Edit wankery. This is going to be edit wankery if you do it, because cool concept. Practically everything is you're going to practically change everything, and it'll be to the point where it's not useful to the original image. But
no, I wouldn't say not useful, but
okay, not useful. Sorry, but yeah, it's nonetheless. So back to this piece of pixel art. Yeah, the shield has too many. Like, it's got textures that are just too many colors, looking funny.
Oh yeah, speaking of the shield, I didn't even realize that it's there because the other part of the sprite is, although the rest of the image is just so in front, so the shield doesn't make sense conceptually, so I just blended it out completely.
It's gone. It doesn't exist. Not really sure what he's doing with it. But the other guy also had something above him, so maybe he's casting a shield spell.
Yeah, that could be it.
It's also got droplets coming up from the ground.
That was in the previous piece as well.
Yes.
Maybe it's his style choice for his kind of art.
Guy likes things doing that. The too many colors. His eyes look confusing and weird.
I'm not sure if there's like goop on his face, white goop.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Maybe half
or
his
if
thing is a metal skull.
Yeah, maybe it's a piece of mask. Maybe it's just a skull looking through because his face melted off. I'm not sure what this is.
Could be
communicating to us.
He appears to have green hair. His arms are raised up. You can tell he's got a cloak and some armor on, so that's good. And you can tell that those are wings.
The wings look cool. I like the shapes a lot.
Yeah.
The texturing, everything, rendering, not so much.
Yeah, texture exactly. Everything could have used a little bit, maybe. This needs cleaning up mostly.
Definitely. That would be most of it, to be honest. Just
most is cleaning up and just fixing light sources. It's really the problems that are here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this guy's trying a lot of really cool stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
his Braves. That's cool.
The designs
And
are
it has
definitely
a-
nice.
yes, and it's a cool concept as well. Very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the mage was not that inspiring. This one is inspiring.
You have to answer me a question, Emmy.
Yes.
Is he sticking his thumbs out?
It does kind of look like.
Once you see it, it doesn't go
Oh
away.
no!
No, he's
No,
just like a happy guy giving you the thumbs up.
Really happy, giving us the double thumbs up. He's like, everything is great here. Yeah.
I got my shield.
Oh, I got my shield.
Fuck, that kind of ruins it.
Oh no! What have you done to me? Wow! Whoa! My Asprite crashed sometime in the background.
Ooh.
Just gonna open that up again, and then I probably have to share it again.
You got anything
yeah.
else to say on that piece? Because I think I don't.
Not particularly. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to somehow share. Ready? Okay, cool. I'm sharing it. Yeah, no, that's all I have to say. The rest of this piece. Shall I go through my edit quickly? I can show.
Okay, so we're gonna
Hold on. Let me go to the second frame first. Okay.
wrap it up after that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
How long has
So-
it been, anyways? I don't know. I didn't check the clock. It should be long enough.
Good point. I'm sure that the stream tells us how long it's been going on. Maybe somewhere. Or...
Right. You
Eh.
don't. Wait, do you? Ah, shit. Discord's just fucking up. Give me just a little bit. Where's.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. For the meantime, I will continue to comment on this guy that's standing here. 'cause
Okay,
that's what's on the
you're
screen.
sharing my screen share, I think, and not a sprite.
What,
that on
really?
purpose?
Hold on. Okay. We have a small technical difficulty. And it is me. I am the technical
Among other things. I mean, nobody expected this to go flawless, right?
No one did. No one did. How about now?
No. Just restart it. Oh, wait. No, wait, I'm just... Never mind. Never mind. I totally didn't just look at my screen share.
Okay. Technical difficulties have been resolved.
Yeah, it wasn't technical
Alright,
at
so-
all, apparently.
Here is a piece. Here's a piece that we looked at last time. I think it was
Yeah, last time.
a week or two ago.
Nobody knows of the last time. Because
Oh,
it's
sorry.
not public.
The last time we looked at pixel art on Reddit, just
Mm-hmm.
to have a see what it's like. I picked up this little piece of pixel art, which is another example. This is a case of this piece inspires me and looks really cool. I like most of the colors, but there are a few things that I needed to change to make this more readable because it suffers from a lot of the things that we mentioned before. Stray pixels. It's got like the lighting is inconsistent. There's this random bright pink color here. There's too many colors in some of the situations. These blues are too bright. These greens are too bright. It's slightly eye-burny, and this thing doesn't look amazing at one-time zoom. You're kind of like, I can see some things are going on, and that mouth is really scary.
The shape distorts quite a lot of the face.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's really
this does quite a lot.
difficult to read.
So, I made a couple of edits, just one or two. Changed up the light source for most of it over here. Changed a cut down number of colors. I made the face seem like it was inside the mouth as opposed to outside.
Yeah,
I made this nose more
Giving it a bit
clear.
of shading.
Yeah, I'll just hit play. I've got like a 1 second loop between the both of these, so you can just see what the differences between them. A lot of cleaning up of single pixels. I did actually move the foot 1 down.
Oh, you actually did. Damn, you lied to me.
I did lie to you. Weasel that I had not moved the legs to create all the extra depth. But for the most part, the extra depth came from the lighting and not the pixel move. His entire body here is quite clearly in shadow underneath the massive helmet and he does look like he's stalking forward, so the light shouldn't really be able to touch there. I just went with one solid color just to make it more readable and to take away a lot of the focus from that specific point, because that's not... the focus is not on this guy's body. I think the head is the real important part in any case. As for the head, I didn't change much intentionally. I changed some of the colors and just made the nose clearer, and then of course the actual character's head, I added a lot of shading here where the eyes are, which is...
I mean, you removed his nose in the process, but I don't think that's a problem at all, because
I did remove his nose. He doesn't deserve a nose. I'm a nose Nazi, and this guy doesn't need a nose. Yeah, but give him some depth so it actually looks... Sorry, it looks like his face is inside the helmet, as opposed to whatever it's doing right now, where it's kind of sticking out, but kind of not.
Yeah.
And you'll see how many of these colors have become subdued, like the grass, the shirt, his face, the skin color, this pinks around the nose, gone. I removed a little bit of contrast from the horn, because I think that made the lighting confusing. But I left a lot of this intact as well. I try to touch as little as possible. The point of any edit is that you want to, well, not any edit, but a lot of the time you want to leave as much intact as possible so that you can give critique only on the points that you think are most important. Yes. Weasel, do you have any comments?
I do, actually.
Go.
One thing that...
Oh no.
There's a lot of anti-aliasing going on there as well in the original, and you didn't touch that at all. Did you have a reason for that, or?
No, I tried not to touch a lot of the piece. Really, I tried to just avoid it. I think I did remove some just incidentally by accident because they were in my way, but I did not intentionally touch the anti-aliasing.
Okay.
Chose to ignore it, but I would have gotten rid of it because of aforementioned things.
Yeah. Because the piece itself is pretty crisp when it comes to its borders, and then there's the ears which just like blur out a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
Maybe it's still a deliberate choice, so they kind of blend into the background a little bit. But then again, the helmet is the focus piece of the piece, or the centerpiece, or whatever. I'm not sure. I would probably get rid of the anti-aliasing entirely.
Yeah. Just remove it to get rid of it. Carry on with your life. Yes, which I will... I'm not going to do. I'm happy with the amount of editing. Meh. But yes, you're quite right. The anti-aliasing is, in this case, again, not necessary or questionable. But yeah. I think these changes alone are enough to really... Because there wasn't that many changes, really. It's like going over quite a large area with one color instead.
Yeah.
Some dunking. Also, actually adding a shadow to the grass so that you can get an idea of this person's depth, because otherwise they kind of just look like they're floating, like if someone's just stuck a sprite onto a thing. It's not that hard to add shadow, and it adds so much.
Yeah, just a dark blob.
Yeah,
drop shadows usually work pretty well already.
Yeah, and it adds depth to them. So like, I think the shadow, the lighting source, and then the 1 pixel move of the foot was enough to change the stance of this character so much. Yeah. Which I thought was important. And yes, that is me making edits, which is kind of like making art scratch, but nothing like it because you start off with something.
Yeah, you don't have to put any brain work into it, you just...
Brainwork. It's already there. I was already inspired, I just added some.
It's already there, you just have to go in there and put a few pixels down. That's really all we do. just put some pixels here and there.
Low effort. That's what I'd like to see. Yes, so I guess that is the wrap-up of this episode.
Yeah.
We've come so far, and I don't know in how long.
Yeah, I don't see my clock right now. So
5 o'clock. So this is about an hour and a half. Or 10 past 5. So it's about an hour and a half of us talking nonsense and giving unsolicited critique on pixel art on Reddit. Damn it, pixel art subreddit.
The fucking words.
We're really good at using words, don't forget that.
It's only gonna get worse in the coming weeks, don't worry.
It's going to get worse. You thought that you were done with us, but not yet. Yeah, I guess, thanks, Weasel, for
thank
hosting
you,
and doing all the
Emby,
important.
for joining as well.
And
for
hopefully...
doing the edit already. That's
Oh yes,
pretty good.
already
But-
doing an edit. Hopefully,
yeah.
we will see some more edits next week.
Yeah, and
we can
next
even
time we
see
should
it.
probably move them to the beginning of the show to get them
Good
out
point.
of the
We
way.
should start
and-
with edits.
Yeah, I think that makes more
excellent
sense.
point. Okay, well,
Well,
I
okay.
guess that's it. Goodbye. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do now. How do you say goodbye?
I think you just go off.
Okay, goodbye.